Were we able to get some equipment, though, or radios?
Emergency equipment, yes, sir.
Okay. Did those seem like decent offers?
From what we saw, yes, sir. They're on par with what other places were selling. What we saw, yes, sir.
Okay.
What is that? That one of them is a 20.
Yeah.
You know, it's hard to believe that a 20 model's already several years old, but that's where we are.
Almost 4.
But yesterday I had to replace the battery in my 2020 Honda Odyssey, so I was like, oh yeah, that's about time.
About time.
And on item 9, Patrick, what is that, that Tahoe that's in the shop?
It's pennies.
It's an
Oh,
override.
pennies, yeah, we looked into this. It was an intervention that had to be done on the vehicle, and it caused some damage to the vehicle, our Tahoe. And the suspect doesn't have insurance on the vehicle, so we're gonna wind up eating it.
But it's fixable?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Keeps us running.
It
Good.
was front lid, front fenders, front hood.
Is that a claim? Be an insurance claim on it,
Yeah.
even though it was intervention? Should be, shouldn't there?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we should be
Yeah,
able to
I
make
mean-
a collision type claim.
Did y'all
she's-
turn that one in to Debbie for us?
Yes, she's got it.
Oh, she does that?
Mhm, Yeah.
Okay.
You're throwing your voice, chief.
Yeah, that,
All right, so we do have a motion by Commissioner Fincannon, seconded by Commissioner Beecham, to approve the consent agenda with the one change. Does anyone have any other questions or comments on the motion or the items on the consent agenda? All right, the motion is before us. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Which takes us to general business item number 1. Review and approve the regular bills for payment. Verify payroll taxes have been filed. In order, County Treasurer to disperse payroll and/or bills within 72 hours via U.S. mail, FedEx, UPS, or electronically, unless directed otherwise, or may be picked up and ledgered in the Treasurer's office.
So moved. Second.
All right. We've got a motion by Commissioner Beecham, seconded by Commissioner Fincannon to approve. Do we have any questions or comments on the motion or this item?
only thing, and I mentioned to Corey earlier, I have a discrepancy on a payable of mine, and I'm gonna let him look at that.
Okay.
And I brought the printouts for that, so
So that one we pulled off.
send it with him, yeah, or modified, I guess. It's
I'm on-
not to
I'm on.
exceed the payable that's on there. It was listed as 5,000, but I think it's really 3,900.
One other thing I'd like to, the auditor's office called about our Atmos Energy bill being that large. And we did go back and do some research, and we found a couple of leaks, one pretty good leak, which I'm really glad it didn't blow up the barn, but if it is see any more like that, please let us know. We had Atmos out too to check, so hopefully we're good now. $1,100 bill in a month's a little steep, so.
That's
anyway,
good.
thank you. Please contact me if you see it again.
And several times over the years, they've caught stuff like
Yeah.
that, particularly from Atmos.
This thing works well when we're all looking out for each other and pulling in the same direction, so. All right, so the motion's before us. Do we have any other questions or comments?
Can I make a
Yes, sir.
statement, please, sir?
Yes.
Being that this has payroll included in this, and I believe on the commissioner's packet I sent you that Commissioner Fincannon's spouse has a reimbursement on there. I'm not sure if we.
Oh, on this one?
On this one?
I thought it was on a prior one.
Yeah.
She had an additional one on this one.
Oh, in that
It
case,
was
I
added to the
withdraw my
packet
second.
To show y'all that information. If you give me the line on what page number it is, it should be page 25 of the packet. That she had another travel reimbursement.
Okay.
I just withdrew my second.
I'll pick up the second, Judge.
All right. Thank you, Corey. And I have reached out to Allison Bass for just some clarification on need for abstaining on what that applies for. But until we know for sure the safer route, Commissioner Buchanan's going to abstain. All right, so I've got a motion by Commissioner Beecham, seconded by Commissioner Mahler to approve the bills for payment. Does anyone have anything else on the motion or this item? All right, the motion is before us. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. All right, with 4 ayes and 1 abstention by Commissioner Fincannon, the motion passes. Item number 2, discuss, consider, and/or take action to award road material bids.
And Nancy had sent me, those, let everybody take one of, there's 2 pages there,
One of each?
one of, yeah, then pass it on.
Oh, they're
Yeah.
already collated.
I walked y'all through what, we saw. Nancy had, put those together, and, I needed to do a little bit of, math on the chips, but my recommendations are gonna be the ones marked in yellow, on this list. So basically, 2.5 inch by default is a DeLisi, but the DeLisi chip bid for 3/8 and 5/8 compared to PK Stone, on that next page, you can see that PK is a better bid by $14,000 in its entirety, but it doubles the amount of our time for transportation here. It's basically gonna allow us a trip a day as opposed to 2 trips a day. So, with that in mind, and this is based on diesel at 350, and as diesel goes up a little bit, or if it does go up, it takes the play out of that significantly as well.
DeLisi's half the mileage,
Yes.
and
We can do 8 loads a day out of DeLisi where we could only do 4 from PK and Mill Valley.
the more you're on the road, the more liability you have
Yep.
for accidents.
Okay.
Well, and stretching that out over 100 days makes a difference too, because you've got, what, 4 people?
You got a
Yeah.
lot more
Yeah.
potential
Yeah.
for more maintenance and upkeep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
And
just a cheaper deal.
And then all of these, Zach Burkett supplied a full bid packet to include it hauling. And in most instances, everything on the Burkett list, you can add about $21 to that ton price, and that's what delivered basic value would be. So, 1 inch at $9 would be about $30 a ton. And then I reached out to, I've looked at some roads in Fredericksburg, and I reached out to Precinct 4 Commissioner up there, and I've not heard back from him. I also called Burkett. Nicole's supposed to get me some examples together. 3/8 pea gravel is not out of the question to utilize. They do it in South Texas all the time. I just wanted somebody that had more experience tell me about what the disadvantages are, but pretty significant savings.
What about the county blend?
It's more of a, Mark, y'all were getting for us that screenings that we put down on that oil. That's more of what that
It's really
is.
fine?
It's really fine.
Okay.
Fine screenings and powder.
Yeah. All of the Martin Marietta products that are listed here, that is a 3/4, the number 67 is a 3/4 inch rock. He said really, he thought way too big to use in chip sealing process at all. That was not his recommendation. All of those products though are at the quarry at Snyder, Oklahoma, which is also 70 miles, and I was surprised by that, but all of those are, I rounded everything off, but they were all like 68 to 69 miles.
I think the one thing about the pea gravel we will discover, you'll have to run a little lower setting on your distributor, because it's gonna roll through there a little bit easier than the rough edged stuff. It's the same thing with running smooth seed and planting wheat, planting oats.
Okay.
One of them goes through the drill a lot easier. This is gonna be the same scenario.
Okay.
So, and it's just something to watch. I mean, you can adjust for that and it would work good, but it is something to keep in mind or you'll wind up with all your gravel on half your road. So that's not,
Well,
that's not a good
the
thing.
roads I looked at were nice roads. You could easily tell it was pea gravel,
Yeah.
but they seemed to look very, very good.
What, did he mention what the problem is with the 3/4? I mean, I understand it's
He
coarser
just thought
surface.
that it was too coarse, too big a rock to set down in that oil well, Barry. That's what his thought was.
So not so much a coarse surface, but maybe a bonding problem.
You need half that rock or better to be in the oil. If your oil's not deep enough,
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
it won't
Then
keep
we'll lock it
down.
in.
That was kind of what he led me to believe that his concern was.
Because we've always been able to chip seal with a little coarser rock than you would run on a city street, which has always been a finer surface, and just because of, you know,
Right.
what we're doing with it, but it also wears pretty good, but interesting.
But
See, I think that pig gravel would make pretty nice.
Was
road.
pea gravel on the RFP?
no, the
Okay.
italics on the side here, the number 67, the screen decomposed granite, and the county blend all were included by participants on the bid. They weren't requirements.
But was the pea gravel?
No.
Okay, pea gravel wasn't as well. We're not gonna be able to award
You know,
So
a bid
good.
to anything that wasn't on the
Wouldn't be.
RFP. So I just wanted to make sure we had those, we didn't have the included, we didn't include them in the award of the
Well,
bid.
I would make the motion that we approve Delisi for the 3/8 and 5/8 washed and 2.5 inch as primary, Zach Burkett is secondary on those. Then Zach Burkett is primary on the 1 inch, 1.5 inch, 3/8 screenings, rock screenings, riprap, hot lay, cold lay, and ASPPM.
Second. No.
And, well,
big-
with the Lisi is secondary on the 1 inch, 1.5 screenings and riprap.
Didn't we already approve Big City and Catlin on the other? I thought we approved those.
Maybe
prior.
we already have. They were both turned in bids.
Did
but,
we reject all those and then, or is that?
No, I
That
don't
was
think
a
Under
so.
separate.
Okay.
Nancy, do you,
Catlin's bid was exactly the same as well as Big Cities, so.
But
There's
we
no-
didn't get Catlin on the last one, so we would have to approve him.
I think it's because we already,
Okay.
I thought we approved it.
That's down on the bottom, isn't it?
Yeah, he submitted the bid. It's the same mileage.
How do you decompose granite?
I think that's just the shavings off of the crushings, is what I think it is.
That'd be a big
If you wanna
jump.
Yeah.
include those.
Yeah, oh, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Big City,
Include these on-
include, Big City is 1 2 inch flex base, and Randy Catlin is hauling. That's
And
primary.
I'll second.
And you say you wanted, did you do a secondary mark on rock screenings and riprap?
Yes,
And those were,
Just-
Delisi?
Delisi, yes.
And really, secondary availability is very important.
Right.
Considering what we've run into the last couple of years.
And I guess we could go ahead and include PK Stone as a tertiary if all else fails.
I think it's probably worth doing considering.
He drove up here
Yeah.
to submit that bid, and there is a quarry in Chico, and at some point in time, Martin Marietta tells me the same thing, they're committed to the hilt. And so we'll see that change over the course of the next couple of years, depending. Martin Marietta's moving some equipment and updating that Snyder quarry a little bit, and so is PK Stone in Chico. So they're not only in Mill Valley, but they're in Chico as well. So that would be an affordable haul.
Go into the Metroplex.
Yeah.
Did we have a second? We had a motion by Commissioner Beecham.
I-
Oh, you did? And a second by Commissioner Fincannon to approve, I'm gonna go ahead and read these again just so that they're in the record. For 3/8 Swatch, washed, or actually, DeLisi as the primary for 3/8 washed, 5/8 washed, and 2.5 inch. Burkett for the primary on 1 inch, 1.5 inch, 3/8 inch screenings, rock screenings, riprap, hot lay, cold lay, and asphalt. The secondary Burkett for 3/8 washed, 5/8 washed. Secondary for DeLisi for 1 inch, 1.5 inch rock screenings and riprap. And P&K Stone is the tertiary for 3/8 washed, 5/8 washed, 1 inch, 1.5 inch rock screenings and riprap. And then approving Big City for 1 to 2 inch flex base and Randy Catlin for hauling. Do we have any questions on the motion or the item? All right, the motion is before us. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. All right,
Don't you know that 2.5 inch washed stone, that'd be a good chunking rock when you. Wouldn't that be a dandy? You have a whole bag full of those.
well, I know where you can get some.
Yeah,
A lot of them.
a lot of them.
All right, so general business item number 3, receive update on courthouse renovation, elevator projects, and county courthouse annexes.
I'll start by apologizing for walking in late. I was dealing with the,
You're dealing with the
dealing with
construction
the
issue?
contractor on the annex, so. Not a lot to report this week. Obviously, it's been a very
Short
short
week, yeah.
week, but just tying up a lot of loose ends, so. Not really much to report.
I've got a question on Mark.
Yep.
The elevator, when I push it out here,
Yep.
it, in the evenings, it's been defaulting to the smaller car. What happens if I am needing the big car?
You can't get it.
Do I have to switch elevators on the bottom floor then? Is that the,
Oh, if you're trying to get out the back exit?
Yeah, because they're both on the same.
Yeah, it's
thing.
gonna-
I'm running
it's-
the same thing.
It's going to open the car that's closest to you at the time.
Yeah.
That's the one that's gonna come to you, so there's no guarantee which one you're gonna get.
okay.
You got to do a transfer.
I didn't know if
You got big
someone,
building problems now, you can do an elevator transfer.
I just didn't know if there was a trick I wasn't using.
No, it's the closest car is going to serve you.
Well, at first I stood there and kept punching that button, waiting for that, and the door kept opening on.
It's the closest one.
That's funny.
Okay, for months we complained because the elevators didn't work, and now we're complaining because they work again.
Hey, at least they're working.
They are working. Yeah. We've changed horses.
We could look into one of those Willy Wonka elevators that goes in all directions.
I did the same thing. It just keeps opening.
Y'all are funny.
I did have a chance to look at the bids for the 30th yesterday, and I think we're all gonna be pleasantly surprised. The numbers look really good.
Good.
Have they submitted an agenda request for putting it on yet, or
I
have you?
think they're gonna do it, was it the 9th? Did they not turn it in yet?
For what?
For 30th budget.
I
think
didn't see
it's-
anything
yeah.
come through.
I think the 9th's probably.
Yeah, I think it's the
Good day.
9th. Yeah, the 9th.
I don't remember that one being. Okay.
Commissioner Watts has made me feel better. I'm not the only one that stood there and kept pushing.
Well, and two, I saw an email over the weekend from Tommy, and Mickey, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but the primary voting for Iowa Park really will be better if we use that,
Move them into
bottom
those
end.
other roads.
yeah,
We've got
and
room
put a lot
now.
more machine
I
up
was
and
just-
Yeah,
get out of
when
the
it's all
middle
done,
room.
we can move them into the big
Yeah,
big
yeah.
multi-purpose.
It
room.
won't be ready for this coming
No.
primary.
Well, but those offices are
Those
empty.
offices are empty. We can use that north door.
And not get over there where the tax office part is
It's
at.
gonna be under
It's gonna
construction.
be under construction, I think. by
In
then.
March?
I think so.
Okay.
Hope so.
Well,
Well, we got construction drawings. Maybe we can make it through March.
that's what crossed my mind, is that maybe it would be, that empty space might be open by the 1st of March and steel. I didn't know when we were gonna move in, but I know Robin would like to have more machines. She'd indicated to me over
Yeah,
there.
it should, yeah, starting actual construction by March is gonna be pushing it pretty quickly. We have construction drawings, bid, GMP bid.
If it's accessible space, yeah, by all means, we'll look
Yeah.
at using it. Cause it would be better to be able to get more
Well, when
machines and handle more
cause
folks.
you're having to bring your voting traffic through that waiting room where the tax.
Yeah,
office
people are
is,
waiting,
you're
and
having-
Tommy
it's
made me think
tight,
of that
yeah.
when he had that email. It just would be a good place if it's not consumed with construction.
Right.
I would not plan on it for November, though.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, we have any other questions or comments on this item? Did you have anything else?
No,
Commissioner?
that's it.
All right, then with that, it's 10:34. This time I'm gonna ask everyone who's not authorized to be here for a closed session to exit the room. We have a briefing and discussions regarding security door and security cameras at the LEC. This meeting will be closed pursuant to 551.089 of the Texas Government Code for deliberations about security devices. Nancy, you can.
Just don't have that kind of.
You did too?
I want Nick's system.
All right.
Yeah.
I want that $100, deal.
All right, it is 11:06 and we are back in open session. And our item here is a motion to approve Cornerstone quote number 120-82023-CR01 for a new security door at the LEC and issue a purchase order for a cost of $11,705.49 to be paid from LEC bond funds.
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion by Commissioner Watts, seconded by Commissioner Beecham to approve that quote. Do we have any questions or comments on the motion or the item itself? All right, motion's before us. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. The motion carries 5-0. It is 11:07 and court is adjourned. Happy New Year, everybody.